Hello, it's Lucia, and today I'm going to talk about neurofibromatosis, which I have as well, or was born with. And I am also an EFT practitioner that stands for EFT Emotional Freedom Technique, which I've been doing now for the last 11 years. And it's helped me a lot through my NF journey. And I wanted to talk about the power of EFT and how it can help with NF. With emotion freedom technique, it says sort of in the word that we deal with emotions, but it's actually sometimes a bit misleading because it deals with so much more. It deals with our mind, it connects our minds, and it connects our emotions. And our emotions, you might know or you might not know, it's not really commonly known that our emotions are actually our hormones. I've been saying this in the past, of course, that when we have a thought that triggers our emotions, but that thought triggers our energy response. And often when it's negative, and scientists do say that our thoughts are mainly negative, as in 70% of our thinking is negative, probably because it's fear-based, it's because of survival, because of protection, etc. It is probably because of that it's negative, and that we often unconsciously and have used to become to stress and the stress response. And with the stress response, we have hormones that aren't supposed to keep being chronically released in our bloodstreams, such as adrenaline, where we can flee in a danger situation, or cortisol when we have to fight. They keep being released in our bloodstream, and we don't actually use that energy. It's just negative thought, negative emotion / chemical release, and that energy isn't used. We're not running it off, we're not fighting it off, and then it becomes actually a freeze response. And that is our sympathetic nervous system that is built like this. And the freeze response, when we don't use that energy for fleeing and fighting, it actually numbs us. And there's always a disconnection, a numbing, and a dissociation going on. And in order to come back to using energy, to getting mobilized, such as in fight and flight, we have to start connecting. We have to start reconnecting. And a very, very powerful tool for this is EFT. Because with EFT, we start connecting. We start connecting our emotions with our body. We locate our emotions in our body that aren't often in the same place as our physical problems, but they are stuck with us because, once again, we did not use this energy. We went into a freeze response. Especially with NF, we hear it's incurable. Nothing can be done. It sucks. There is no way out. I am alone with this. We're feeling isolated, etc., etc. That is a direct response of that numbing, of that disassociating, of that disconnection that we experience. And the more we think that way, the more our neural pathways are getting stronger with those way of thinking, with those emotions being released. And guess what one scientist, a modern scientist, say, and I would really recommend his books, and I will write you the book recommendation underneath. He says that we actually, and he's not the only one, that we express our emotion, our genes, and we can express our genes any way according to what we think and what we feel. And we know this from the science that is fairly new, but also already 30 years or more than those years old is epigenetics, that we are not actually victims of our environment, what is happening in our lives. We are actually able to change the expression of our genes in the way we think and the way we feel. And the power, once again, of emotions and the power of EFT is that with EFT we focus on emotions, but we also focus on the psychology. We also focus on our body pain and symptoms, and those focusing is reconnecting with our body, is reconnecting and climbing up that ladder back to regeneration, where we can actually feel connected, where we can let go of that numbness, of that depression that is so hopeless. We can go and let go of all that stuck energy that has been building up, that energy that we didn't release during our negative thinking that brought us into a fight and flight response, that we never used that energy to flee and fight. We actually became hopeless, numb, disconnected, etc. So the power of EFT and the power of emotions is vastly misunderstood, because we human beings are emotional creatures. We were conditioned to be in our minds, but it's actually our emotions that are really powerful, and they will re-empower us to express perfect health, to express other genes that we have. There are so many genes, so much DNA that we don't actually use apparently, and it's a scientific fact. We only use 1.5 of our DNA, and our DNA should, nature being so amazing, should then change to only 1.5 of our DNA. But those other chunk DNA, it stays with us. So somehow what you not use, you lose normally that way, but it stays with us. So it means actually we are using them, and we can express our genes in a different way. We have that potential, and that potential is to feel emotions and to direct our life. And I'll leave you with this. You will see me in my next video. Bye.